External monitors like this one here are a great help for your underwater filmmaking, wouldn't you agree? But they do also come with some drawbacks. They're expensive, they're bulky, and they're heavy. And especially when traveling to faraway destinations on airplanes, the weight is a big issue. And I have actually been looking for alternatives to the standard regular monitoring options for your underwater cameras for quite a while. Finally, I have come across a solution that I find really cool and that I'm very excited to share with you today. Coming up. Hi and welcome back to the Underwater Filmmaking School. Thank you so much for tuning in again to today's video, which is all about monitoring your underwater footage when filming down there below the surface. Now, before we get into today's video and I share with you the very exciting new piece of equipment that I've discovered, I want to say thank you. Just a few days ago, we cracked the 7,000 subscriber mark here on the channel, and it makes me incredibly happy to see how much this community here is growing, how much interaction we are getting here between each other, and how everyone is learning and developing their skills with underwater filming, and that's what this should really be all about. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being part of this active, great and really cool community. As a little thank you for being this great and being part of this community, I'm just gonna give away a 50% discount on all my digital products for the next 7 days. So my Learn to Film Underwater online course, all my LUT packs, they will be discounted at 50%. So if you want to get any of these, you can do that now at a discounted rate. I'll leave all the information as well as the coupon code that you'll need to get the 50% down in the video description below. So, having this out of the way, let's concentrate on today's topic. We're talking about underwater monitoring and options, how you can monitor your image that you're filming, that you're taking underwater. Now, if you've been following my channel here and the videos for some time, you will probably have heard me say a couple times already that I'm a big fan of underwater, of external monitors when it comes to filming underwater. They have so many benefits. Usually they are bigger than your internal monitor that you have at the back of your camera. Also, they're brighter, generally speaking, and very importantly, you can adjust the angle of the monitor. You can place it in whichever way you want, which is going to make it so much more comfortable for you to shoot in different angles, specifically when you're trying to film some macro stuff or when you're trying to film up towards the surface. All that sort of stuff is so much easier achieved by using an external monitor. Now, unfortunately, as I said in the intro, they are rather expensive because you need to have an extra monitor, you need to have an extra housing for the monitor, HDMI cables, all that sort of stuff. They're heavy, they're bulky, and I caught myself a couple times already considering or contemplating whether I should take my monitor with me on an assignment, just because it was just so much extra weight and space that I had to take with me in my luggage. And sometimes it gets really tight, especially when traveling by plane, and these airplane luggage allowances, they get smaller and smaller really. So you have to sort of prioritize sometimes. But I don't really want to miss the monitor whenever I'm on an assignment or even just filming for myself. I do really enjoy using a monitor on like my rig that I've been using for a long time now, which is the GH5S in a Nauticam housing. So when my friends from Divevolk reached out to me a little while ago and told me that they had developed something that they that will make it possible to use something like your smartphone as your external monitor. Now, what they've done, let me grab this. They have developed a Wi-Fi transmitter, this piece here, which works underwater. The way this works is that you've got a transmitter here and a thick sturdy cable in between, and you place one of these transmitters onto your smartphone or the housing where your smartphone sits in, and the second one gets attached close to the screen of the camera on the outside of the housing. That way, the Wi-Fi signal can go through that polycarbonate window where you can see the screen of your camera. The signal can go through there, gets picked up by the transmitter here, transmitted all the way over here, then fed through to your cell phone, and there you go. You've got a Wi-Fi feed, a Wi-Fi transmission from the camera to your phone, and you're now able, with any camera that has a Wi-Fi connection and an app that enables you to see what the camera is seeing on your phone. With any of these cameras, you can now monitor whatever your camera sees on the phone. So you basically got a external monitor for your underwater camera, just like that. How cool is this? And I was first, I'm gonna be honest, I was a little skeptical whether or not this would actually work and how well the connection was gonna be and all that sort of stuff. And then I tried it on one of my last trips. I think it was in Bonaire earlier this year. I tried it out, and I was so surprised how just constant, sturdy and well this connection is. It's just like using the Wi-Fi transmission from your camera to your phone on the surface. It's just working that well. Now, obviously, what you're gonna need in addition to the Wi-Fi transmitter here is a housing for your smartphone, like for example the SeaTouch 4 Max. On this housing here, you're also gonna need the clamp so that you can actually attach the Wi-Fi transmitter onto the housing, which then gives you the direct connection to the smartphone. And as we said, the other part here goes onto the monitor of the camera. And that's really all the magic there is. Now, I personally don't use the Panasonic's app, monitoring app, because I don't like that too much. I use an app called Field Monitor. I'll link it down in the video description below, so you can go and check it out if you want. It's a paid app, it's not that expensive, it's only a couple of bucks, but it does work very well and it gives you some really nice features, monitoring features that the regular app doesn't give you. So I used this in the SeaTouch 4 Max housing on my iPhone 13 Pro, and I was really stunned how well this worked. It's obviously quite a bit cheaper than getting an external monitor, an external housing, all the HDMI connections, and everything that you need to make it work otherwise. Now, if you're looking at the Wi-Fi transmitter, this part here, you're looking at around $200 US, and obviously you'll need the housing as well, which is the SeaTouch 4 Max, and this one with the clamp will set you back around $280. So for just under $500, you get a complete setup. Obviously, you still need your phone, but you most likely will have a phone that is Wi-Fi compatible. But for $500, you can get the housing, the connection, everything you need to make your phone into an external monitor on your underwater camera housing. That is just nuts. Thank you, Divevolk, for making this a reality. I really, really appreciate that, and I enjoy using the Wi-Fi transmission with my phone on my GH5S. So after I've seen that it works on my GH5S in the NautiCam housing, I wanted to see whether I can make this work with my new RED Komodo in the Gates housing. Now, if you've seen that setup, it has already two monitors. It's got that tiny little RED Komodo monitor, which is on the top of the camera. So when you look down, you can see that monitor, but it's just really tiny and it doesn't really give you a good reference when you frame your image, and also with seeing whether or not it's in focus. So they have integrated a larger, a 5-inch small HD screen at the back, a monitor which is angled at around 45 degrees or something, which works great in most situations, but sometimes if you're shooting macro or in like more specific angles, it would actually be nice to have a monitor on top of the housing. And yes, there is option of getting again an external monitor with a housing and the cables and everything attached on top, but then again, it's heavy, it's expensive, I don't really like that too much. So I was curious to see whether I can make this, the Sealink, this is what they call this Wi-Fi transmitter, whether I can make this work on the RED KOMODO. And surprisingly, very happily, it does actually work. I can now have my phone as a third monitor on top of my RED KOMODO and have the RED KOMODO app open and just monitor what I'm filming with the RED KOMODO. And this is fantastic, and especially the RED KOMODO app is so powerful. I can do anything on that app. Everything that I would be doing on the housing itself, I can now do by just pushing on the smartphone, on the touch screen of the smartphone inside the housing and adjusting everything there. So I was really surprised, happily surprised that it even works with the RED KOMODO setup, and I can tell you I will be using this quite frequently when taking my RED KOMODO on the next couple of on the next dives, especially when I'll be doing some macro shooting and stuff like that, where I want to have a better angle to look into the screen rather than into the external screen rather than the screens that are integrated into the camera housing. You can probably tell how excited I am about this, and this is not played. I'm really honestly excited about this. I think this is a great invention and a great product that will make it possible for a lot more people out there to have external monitors on their underwater camera housings, even if they don't have a large enough budget to get a proper monitor and housing to get a external monitoring option on their underwater camera systems. I will leave links to the housing, the Sealink, the Wi-Fi transmitter, all that stuff. I'll leave links to all that down in the video description below. They are affiliate links. I'm going to be very honest with you there, guys. So if you do get anything through these links, I will get a bit of a kickback from my friends at Divevolk, but it's not going to cost you anything extra. In fact, you're even going to benefit from an extra 6% discount on top of whatever the discount is already on the website for regular customers if you buy your products from Divevolk through the affiliate links that are down in the video description below. So you can get yourself a little bonus there as well by using these links and do something good for me and help me continue creating this content here on the channel. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this video was useful to you and you got a benefit out of it. And if this was the case, then do please hit that like button. You know it means a lot to me. And also consider subscribing to the channel so you're not missing out on any future content that will be uploaded here. If you do have any questions about the Divevolk Sealink, the Wi-Fi transmission, the underwater camera or the underwater smartphone housing, please feel free to leave the questions down in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to get back to you as quickly as I can. Other than that, enjoy capturing your underwater adventures, and I will see you in the next video.